From this distant vantage point, the Earth might not seem of any particular interest. But for us, it's different. Consider again that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam. The Earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena. Think of the rivers of blood spilled by all those generals and emperors, so that in glory and triumph they could become the momentary masters of a fraction of a dot. Think of the endless cruelties visited by the inhabitants of one corner of this pixel on the scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner. How frequent their misunderstandings, how eager they are to kill one another, how fervent their hatreds. Our posturings, our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some privileged position in the universe, are challenged by this point of pale light. Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark. In our obscurity, in all this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. The Earth is the only world known so far to harbor life. There is nowhere else, at least in the near future, to which our species could migrate. Visit? Yes. Settle? Not yet. Like it or not, for the moment, the Earth is where we make our stand. It has been said that astronomy is a humbling and character-building experience. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of our tiny world. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known.
On February 14, in 1990, the Voyager 1 took a picture of planet Earth at 6 billion kilometers away, and the renowned scientist Carl Sagan made this speech about it. He was an American astronomer, planetary scientist, cosmologist, astrophysicist, astrobiologist, author, and science communicator. Most of us will remember him for the amazing show Cosmos. In this speech, we do not see Carl, but if you know him, you will know that he almost always appears wearing very similar clothes: a blazer, a turtleneck jacket, or a shirt, and always with a smile in his face. In this particular speech, Carl refers on how small our world is in the immense cosmic void, about how everything that once was and everything that will ever be happens in that tiny particle, and how important it is to take care of it. This is a speech whose target audience is all humanity. He begins by speaking to us in general terms about the important events that occur in human history and how small they look on the scale of that image. And then he invites those who are listening to think about all those great wars and those important things that happen in the world and the importance of taking care of the planet because it is the only home we have in the infinite emptiness. His entire argument is based on that image that shows our planet as if it were a speck of dust floating in a ray of sunlight. His purpose is not to persuade, he just tried to make people think. Carl doesn't use scientific language or complicated words. This is something more personal. It is not a motivational speech or something that seeks to convince people of some philosophical current. It is a personal thing. This speech is something that comes from his tongues. This is not a conventional speech. It does not deal with a specific problem or has a really specific target. It does not use visual aids and is not based on a scientist's theory or something like that. But it is an important discourse because it puts into perspective everything we are and everything we believe. Carl shows us that image and make us think about how our world is so tiny in this big space and why we need to take care of it because this is the only home we ever have and the only home we're going to find.
A new consciousness is developing which sees the Earth as a single organism and recognizes that an organism at war with itself is doomed. We are one planet.